talk about the attributes or characteristics of the absolute value function. We're going to start with the parent function. F of x is equal to the absolute value of x. And remember that the absolute value of x is equal to x when x is greater than or equal to 0. And it's equal to negative x when x is less than 0. Let's see what that means graphically. When x is negative 3, the absolute value of x is 3, which is minus 3. When x is negative 2, this is equal to minus 2 or plus 2. When x is equal to negative 1, it's equal to minus 1 or plus 1. Remember, your absolute value is always going to give you an answer that is greater than or equal to 0. And of course, the absolute value of 0 is 0. The absolute value of 1 is 1. The absolute value of 2 is 2. And the absolute value of 3 is 3. Graphing the absolute value function is fairly straightforward. It's got a lot of symmetry. The vertex is this point right here where the slope changes from negative to positive or positive to negative. The domain is all real numbers. We can take the absolute value of any real number. However, the range of the parent function is all y greater than or equal to 0. It has an x and y intercept at the origin. Now, the axis of symmetry always goes through the vertex. So if you can find the x value of the vertex, the axis of symmetry will be, well, for the parent function, the axis of symmetry is x equal to 0. So let's look at this function again. Remember, I told you we were going to graph these quite a bit. F of x is equal to the absolute value of x plus 2. The domain is all reals. Now the range for the absolute value function is y greater than or equal to 0, but this is going to be shifted up to. So the range is the set of y that are greater than or equal to 2. What is the axis of symmetry? To find the axis of symmetry, you take what's in the absolute value and you set it equal to 0. So the axis of symmetry is at x equal to 0. So feel free to go on and dot that in. It will help you. When x is 0, y is 2, so this is shifted up 2. So it's equal to x plus 2 when x is greater than or equal to 0, and it's equal to negative x plus 2 when x is less than 0. So this will have a line, slope 1, and this part will have a line, slope negative 1. For this function, f of x is equal to x plus 4. Again, it has a domain of all reals, and it has a range and its range, because we don't have any plus out here, the range will be y greater than or equal to 0. Now, to find the axis of symmetry, you set x plus 4 equal to 0. So x equals negative 4. When x is negative 4, f of negative 4 is equal to, so your vertex is going to be at the point negative 4, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. So that's my vertex. Now we can write this as a piecewise function. X plus 4 when x is greater than or equal to 0, and minus x plus 4 when x is less than 0. So this will be a line, slope 1. We see it has a y-intercept of what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 4. Has an x-intercept at -4, 0. The axis of symmetry is right here at x equal -4. And I do need to see that line. You make it a line, and it needs to be labeled. Now, graph the absolute value function and analyze the max and min. So if I have the absolute value of x on the interval -4 to 2, finding maximums and mins on absolute values means you have to do more than just evaluate endpoints. You have to look very carefully at it. So here I've graphed f of x is equal to the absolute value of x. Now, I know it goes through the origin, and then it increases with a slope of 1, and it decreases down to the origin with a slope of -1. Now, when I look at this closed interval, I need to come and actually mark it off on my graph. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is -4 and 2. All right, so here is the function at -4, and here is the function at 2. So there are 3 key points you need to look at: the endpoints and the vertex. So for this function, the maximum is going to occur at the left endpoint. So the maximum occurs at x equals -4. So f of -4 is equal to the absolute value of -4, or 4. So the maximum of 4 occurs at -4, 4. Now the minimum does not occur at this endpoint, 2, because the functional value at 2 is 2. And we see we have an actual minimum here at the origin. The minimum occurs at x equals 0, or at the origin. Oh, now this is a good one. Let's graph this one right here and look at what happens to it on 4, 7. Where's my axis of symmetry? My axis of symmetry occurs where what's in the absolute value is equal to 0. So when x minus 3 is equal to 0, when x is equal to 3. So to find the vertex, I take this point right here, and I evaluate f at 3. So this is the absolute value of 3 minus 1, so that's 0. So this is -1. So my vertex is at 3, -1. 1, 2, 3, -1. And I have an axis of symmetry at x equals 3. Now, if I look at this, I see that I have a slope of 1. I can write this as a piecewise function. It's x minus 3 minus 1 for x greater than or equal to 3. And it's minus x minus 3 minus 1 for x less than 3. Now this one's going to take a little bit more clearing up. X minus 3 minus 1, so this becomes x minus 4 for x greater than or equal to 3. And this, I'm going to distribute this negative sign, is negative x, and then negative 3, so this is plus 3 minus 1 for x less than 3. So I'm going to rewrite it again. The equation of the lines are x minus 4 for x greater than or equal to 3, and minus x plus 2 for x less than 3. So this is what the function graphs to. I'm only interested in graphing from 4 to 7. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 7 will be on this part of the curve right here. Apologize there. So 1, 2, 3. So this is 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's 7. So I see that while I have a beautiful absolute value function here, I'm not interested in the negative branch. I only want the positive branch. So the minimum is going to occur at x equals 4, and the maximum is going to occur at x equals 7 because it's only increasing. So f of 4 is equal to the absolute value of 4 minus 3 minus 1, which is 1 minus 1, or 0. So the minimum is going to occur at 4, 0, which is good. That's what it looks like on my graph. The maximum is going to occur at 7. F of 7 is the absolute value of 7 minus 3 minus 1. 7 minus 3 is 4. The absolute value of 4 is 4. So this is 3. So my max is going to occur at 7, 3. And that indeed is where it appears on my graph.